And we're back. Welcome back. Before we get back to the game, I want to remind you that we have a bunch of cool giveaways, including a book from Scott James Magner, who is one of our longtime fans, probably in the chat right now. He wants me to just get to the book immediately, but I seem to have lost my blurb, and I'm running out of words to say. Okay, here we go.
It's a fast-paced thriller.
False alarm. Didn't find
awesome. It. Fast-paced action thriller with future transgenic. Okay.
This is specifically about the characters, and so I want to get this right. So bear with me for 1 second. But just to recap, for everyone who is new to the stream and wasn't here before, we have landed ourselves in the Forgotten Realms. Well, okay, Chris landed us in the Forgotten Realms, and we have now found civilization, barely.
Yeah.
And we are currently staring at a sign outside a tavern. And hoping to figure out where we are and what to do next. Okay. The next part of the book, which is called Homefront by Scott James Magnar, and the war for the future of mankind may not be decided by who is right, but by who is left. Commander Jantine leads an infiltration force of soldiers, scientists, and engineers on a mission to establish a new colony, a beachhead on a planet that cast them forth so many years before. Lieutenant Mira Harlan of the System Defense Force is part of a clandestine fleet stationed just outside Earth's orbit. She doesn't know it yet, but on board her ship is a priceless secret, a young girl whose genetic code might unlock the mysteries of the transgenic virus. When Jantine and her crew of Streamship 7, sorry, that's such a cool name. When they emerge from hyperspace, they reignite a centuries-old conflict that could tear the home system apart. Harlan and her captain must both defend themselves and protect their charge, or humanity's next war may well be its last. That's Homefront by Scott James Magnar. Sci-fi, humanity returning to Earth that cast it out so long ago because of a strange transgenic virus. So if you would like to enter into winning that, please do so in the doobly-doo below. And otherwise, we have other announcements before we get back into it. Rhiannon, you want to talk about your stories?
Sure. So I will place the links in the chat again. I have 2 sets of time stories. There's one that's new, Artemisia, family, time travel, all kinds of cool stuff. And there's also, until Sunday, all the other time short stories are free as well. So you can get Lovecraft pastiche, fantasy, sci-fi, other Artemisia like background vignettes and all that kind of cool stuff. And so you can scroll through, and if you've missed some before, you can pick up the ones that you've missed. So try them out and download some before they go back to their normal price on Monday.
Awesome. All right. And on that note, take it away whenever you're ready, Chris.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. So as I mentioned when last we left our heroes, you are standing gawking at the sign out in front of this tavern, and the door opened up, double doors, in fact, right in front of you. The building is laid out roughly in a rectangular shape, with the prow off to your left and the stern off to your right. And these large double doors will swing open, and standing in them, looking surprised at all of you, is a woman. Well, really a girl more than a woman. Perhaps on the edge of those two things, late teens, maybe. About 5'6", dirty blonde hair, braided, long, down the center of her back. She is wearing a tan blouse bodice, and a long brown skirt, sort of rough and uneven at the bottoms. And she looks to the world like a tavern maid, perhaps. She'll see you, be surprised at the fact that she sees you. She has a bucket, empty, in her hand, and she will say, "Nade." what would you like to do? I think you're on mute, Eric.
Where's somebody?
Hail, we come in peace.
All right, so you'll put your hands up and say, "Hail, we will come in peace." Are you all sort of deferring to Eric's communication with the aliens?
Yeah.
Okay. You have made first contact, Eric.
Oh,
She
good.
will breathe a deep breath, place her hand, her right hand, because her left hand is carrying the bucket over her heart, and she will say, "Well met, good sirs. You scared me. Please come in."
That was not our intention.
There is a tavern beyond her. You can see directly away across from you a lit hearth, a number of tables. There are people inside.
Thank you for the invitation. I think we shall.
Oh, we perhaps thought that we might shelter at the temple. We have are travelers with few resources.
Oh, that is also true.
Well, the temple is closed for the night. It's Midsummer's Eve. It'll be open in the morning.
Well, perhaps we should go inside then.
Yes, well, a hearth sounds like an excellent substitute for that then.
All right, so you will stroll inside. She will pass you quietly, headed outside to do whatever she was going to do with that empty bucket. And you will find yourselves inside of a legitimate fantasy tavern. There's a sense of awe and wonder that I'm sure fills you all, because while some of you may have been to some interesting places that do fantasy taverns fairly well in the abstract or in a facsimile of a fantasy tavern, I doubt any of you have been in a real one. And this is quite literally a real one. It is laid out, and we're going to be operating in the theater of the imagination here because I don't have a map of this place, in a rectangle. Immediately to your right is a set of stairs, which clearly goes up to the second floor of this place. Also to your right is an L-shaped bar with the little part of the L on your side. A dozen or so seats, only one of which is presently occupied. I'll get to the inhabitants in a moment. I'll give you at the moment a layout of the place. There is someone behind the bar and someone standing off near the bar. They're all interesting characters, so like I said, I'll describe them. Behind the bar is a wide assortment of bottles and hand casks and a door that leads probably to a kitchen from its location. As you move across the room, there's the hearth directly across from you. What looks like the head of a boar, a fairly large size boar, which has one tusk broken off and one tusk remaining. The tusk has colorful strips of cloth hanging from it. Hard to say what they are at this range. You're about 40 feet away. There are an assortment of tables, about a dozen or so, decorating the sort of center of the room. There are an assortment of pillars, about a dozen or so, that connect this floor with an open area above. About 2/3 of the center of the room sort of open to the second floor, where there are railings around. To your left, there is a stage, I guess you could describe it as. It's about a 3-foot hop up onto this wooden platform, which goes wall to wall on that side of the room. About 10 feet into it is a giant curtain, which looks like it's made of sailcloth, patched in many spots. And then something obviously lurking beyond that. That's the general layout of the room. You're assaulted with smells as well as sights when you come inside. Predominantly smoke, wood smoke, pipe smoke, and peat. The peat appears to be burning in the hearth. And there's in fact a slight haze throughout the place. And the rafters have been, well above you, have been darkened by the smoke over time. You can also smell, and you're reminded as you do, of how acutely hungry you all are, because you've been walking for a while without having eaten anything. And I don't know if you came over on an empty stomach or what the effect was, but you're now reminded there's really nothing in there. Bread like it's freshly baked, maybe some sort of a stew or meat cooking somewhere in here, and this alcoholic smells of what are probably wine and ale spilled around the room. There's also a smell of people. I'll get to describing them in a moment, but people in this setting have a more pungent odor than most of the folks that you're used to at Walmart. And so as a consequence, there's a little bit of body odor, and maybe for those of you who are really sensitive, the slightest smell of pee underlining it all. So you're overwhelmed by all of that as you come in. There's plenty of shadows in here because the light isn't great. It's being cast from candles in various locations, torch brackets around the walls, the fireplace, and it is reasonably late at night. How late exactly, you can't tell. There are also candles placed around. Again, as though the place is decorated for something, you may have an insight into what that something would be, because your helpful barmaid, tavern maid, hard to say, probably just told you about it. This doesn't have exactly the feeling of a tavern or an inn so much as it has the feeling of a fest hall, for those of you who might understand the difference between those things. The stage
may have come up in the Westgate game a few times.
A little bit.
For those of you, what was I going to say, who are looking over to your left-hand side, the stage clearly gives that away, as do some of the people that are around the room. There are, again, about a dozen or so individuals filling this room. Off to your left, there is a woman and a man, or really a boy. The woman is about 5'4", lithe. She looks Asian in terms of her heritage. She has long brown black hair that's put up, and she's wearing a highly decorative jade green silk corset, but then below that, short breeches. She has what would be a skirt hiked up, and she appears to be in the midst of decorating. She's standing up on a chair that's been brought over and hanging sort of decor, wreath garland flowers from a sort of long string that's designed to hang in front of the stage. Handing those off to her is that boy, who's again a teen, maybe about the same age as the maid that you saw exit with her empty bucket. He's a little taller, maybe 5'10"-ish. He has wild curly brown hair, and he's strong, but still in sort of that awkward stage of life. He's wearing a brown simple tunic and breeches and well-worn shoes, patched. To the right-hand side of the room are three individuals. There is one man seated at the bar. This individual is in his 40s or 50s. He appears reasonably well-dressed, silver to the temples, but maybe as a well-dressed merchant, wearing reds and greens and browns. And he appears to be in conversation with the barkeep, who is a shorter gentleman. His belly is to the bar, but that is only because he must be standing on something, because he is at his best height about 3 feet tall. He is wearing green and gold, rich nut brown velvet clothes. He has sideburns which go down and certainly curly brown hair. You can't really tell much more about him at this range, because again, you're about 30, 40 feet away, and the light in here isn't great, but engaged in conversation with the man seated there. Standing behind them is the tallest person in this place, approaching your height, Eric, maybe 6'4" or more. And this is a tall, solid, shaved head, well-built, strong, scarred gentleman. He doesn't look entirely human.
Okay.
He doesn't look like he's a half-orc or a half-ogre, but he's some measure of that blood in him. He's wearing a leather doublet and breeches, well-worn, and hanging from his belt is a cudgel, one end of which is spiked with iron, the other end of which is just cut wood. There are distributed around the room, seated at tables. Each table has between 2 and 4 chairs. a number of what I might describe as customers. There's 3 merchants, clearly from one of the caravans hereabout, men in their 40s, mid-height, soft look about them, dressed well, but a bit sloppy as they're probably reasonably well into their cups. A couple of caravan guards, men in their 20s, dusky skin, wearing leather armor, short swords belted to their waists. They're drinking, but they're not sloppy drunk the way the merchants are. A couple of locals, men in their perhaps 50s or 60s, that are wearing simple tunics and breeches, engaged in gossip with each other at one of the tables. And that's it. All of you, of course, who've just walked in the front. Everyone will kind of look over in your general direction and then look away. What do you want to do?
That's probably for the best.
I lean to whoever's close and go, oh my God, a gnome, a real gnome.
Yeah, we don't know him.
Yeah.
I've never met this man before.
I whisper it. I'm not like,
So, Allie, do you still want to find out what year it is? Because I feel like we could sort of lead up to that, maybe.
Yeah, we could figure that out.
Is it safe to say you're muttering amongst yourselves, standing there in the doorway?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When he sees that you aren't just walking in, the shorter gentleman who's standing at the bar will bellow out in a surprisingly robust voice for a fellow of his size. Well met, deep night travelers. Welcome to the Giant's Folly. I'm your host, Gandalus. Please sit anywhere you like. Ellie, when she returns from the yard in a breath or two, will seat you as our guests.
Well met. Thank you for your invitation and your gracious hospitality. We shall do exactly that.
Don't have any money.
Well, I have silver.
I have these gold chocolate coins.
I have 50 silver.
I mean, look, we can never mind. We can worry about this later.
So where in the room would you like to sit?
With our backs in a corner or a wall where we can see everybody and no one can sneak up on us.
So near the hearth then?
First of all, are there any shadowy corners where someone is brooding and looking to give somebody a quest?
There are no brooding figures that you can presently see located in any of the shadowed corners of the room.
Good. All right. I'm going to go sit in the corner where it's most shadowy.
So you want to be seated by the stage then?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay. So the 4 of you will pull up the necessary number of chairs to a table back across the back of the room in the shadowiest shadow corner of this place?
Yeah.
Okay. You will do exactly that. You'll notice that your hostess, Alu, will come in from the yard. Her bucket is now full. She is headed over towards the bar. You have a few moments to yourselves before she comes to you. Do you wish to do anything with that time?
Well, we don't necessarily have any coins that they would recognize.
I was gonna go see if I was gonna ask what the exchange rate is for my deep. I don't know what would be a good, like, really obscure realm.
Deep Imiskar? Tell them Deep Imiskar.
Deep Imiskar silver.
Yeah, exactly.
Where are you going to engage in that conversation?
I was gonna go up to the bar and ask the bartender. I'll say,
yes, you want to talk to the gnome. we know.
It's just your luck that gnome's gonna be a metallurgist. Just your luck.
He'll get up and move away from the rest of the party. So right now it's 3 of you at a table and Randy on his way to the bar.
Yeah.
Okay. Randy, tell me more.
I say, greetings, Gandalus. What an incredible establishment you have here. I was just curious, just so that I can set expectations for our evening. What is the exchange rate for a deep Amiskar silver? And I'll set one on the bar for him.
He's looking at you as you're giving your speech with a wryly bemused look on his face. Roll a 20-sided die for me.
Okay.
just to set expectations for the evening.
I got an 11.
Okay, thank you. The gentleman who is in conversation with him, the well-dressed older gentleman, will guffaw under his breath when you've concluded your speech. And he will look down his nose at you, the host, your host, and place one finger on your coin and drag it over to his side of the bar. Randy, he's a little robust to be a gnome. You think he might be a halfling.
Oh, halfling. Excellent. That's
So
awesome.
he'll pick up your coin and
This isn't
examine
gonna
it.
go well. This isn't gonna go well.
He'll take it and take a bite out of it, so to speak, noting how hard it is.
Very hard.
Interesting. Silver, you say? And he'll put it back down on the bar and slide it over in your direction.
Oh, that's what the person who paid me for my services said it was, and I had no reason to doubt him.
Seems more like steel than silver, lad. It's a little firm for silver.
Oh, it may be mixed with other things, but I assure you there is silver in it.
I would be willing to give you 3 thumbs for it.
3 thumbs?
Nibs?
Is that equivalent to, what is that in, say, copper or copper
3?
pieces?
He'll hold up
3 copper pieces? Oh, I see. 3 copper pieces per Imaskar deep Imaskar.
How many of,
All right.
however many of these deep Imaskar coins you may possess. He's not
Yes.
pronouncing Imaskar correctly.
Okay. Excellent. Well, thank you. That helps me establish the baseline for the evening, and I will go confer with my compatriots.
You're welcome.
Oh, and I assume if you have a stage, there's going to be some sort of musical entertainment for the evening?
You'll say that to him?
Yeah.
I'll come back to you with the answer to that question in just a moment.
Okay.
Because while you've been having this conversation,
Yes.
Elu has come over to the table. So you're now, the 3 of you remaining at the table, faced with Elu, who will say, good evening, sirs. What do you wish to eat or drink?
Oh, we need to figure out payment first.
She'll
I
look at
smelled
you
bread
somewhat
and-
confused.
I
You,
smelled bread and saw stew being made. Yes,
that is correct.
that would do nicely.
Yeah, that will be perfect.
Yeah,
So-
but don't order it before we know we can pay for it.
Well, we'll find some way to work it off if we can't pay for it. I'm sure Randy is charming up the bartender.
You can see that going on across the room.
Yeah.
She'll look slightly confused that there was a dispute between the members of your group about this subject, but as she's been given very firm directions from Eric to go bring back the food, she will go off to achieve that goal.
Thank you.
Randy,
lass.
meanwhile, is
Yes.
asking the question about, I'm sorry, refresh my recollection, Randy?
Will there be musical entertainment this evening?
Oh boy.
Well, it's well past deep night, lad. The musical entertainment will have to wait until tomorrow's Midsummer Festival, or maybe Shield Meet the day afterwards.
Ah, I see.
Okay.
All right.
Unless, of course, there's some you'd like to perform.
Oh, perhaps. What?
You
what?
look like a traveling entertainer about you.
I do not look like a traveling entertainer. Is that what you
Well,
said?
you most
Showing
assuredly
your
do
very
that.
colorful.
Oh,
shirt.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh no. Oh no. Little
You'll
drunk.
actually produce a small drum and bang on it. Excellent. I have a good instinct for these things, he'll say.
Uh-huh. Excellent. Well, and if we were to come up with some form of performance to entertain your customers for the evening, what would that be worth to you in terms of
An
meals or
entertainer and a merchant.
deed?
I suppose it will depend on the quality of that entertainment.
Okay.
Wouldn't you say, Ian? And the well-dressed gentleman at the bar will nod. Yes, I think it's only fair to judge payment based on the services rendered.
Excellent. Oh, and then the last thing I always like to do whenever I come into a bar or into a new town
You'll
is
see
ask
the
what the most-
barmaid is returning over to the bar at this point.
Oh, yeah.
She's concluded her conversation with them. Go ahead.
Oh, is ask what is the most prominent rumor or thing troubling the town?
He'll guffaw when you say that.
Uh-huh.
Lad, did you just ask me for the biggest rumor hereabouts?
Yeah.
Are you in a chapbook, lad?
No, I actually enjoy writing the chapbooks, and so I like to collect these kinds of rumors and stories from the places
Your
that I travel.
name wouldn't happen to be Volo, would it?
No, but I have read his work, and it's quite impressive.
You do read a bit like Volo.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. I'll have to ponder that one for you. Let's see the quality of your performance, and based on the quality of your performance, it'll be the quality of the rumor that I provide.
Excellent. I'll go ahead and return to the table and share all of this information with them, including the fact that I have 150 coppers worth of coinage.
All right, so he will return and begin sharing this information with all of you.
We're over there
Okay.
across the room. I'm like, does it look like it's going well?
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know. Look, worst comes to worst, I think we can maybe convince somebody that this thing is some kind of like art, like relic or artifact or something that we don't quite understand, but we know that it's something, and maybe they can get more information. Like maybe they can study it and figure out how it works. Because I mean, it might get us some money. We can try to sell it to somebody.
Like the practicalities.
Yeah. I might be able to trade my Kit Kat bar to a halfling. I mean, halflings appreciate food.
Are you going to wave your Kit Kat bar around?
No. I mean, boy, don't want
You
to.
can't show off the goods.
Flash your Kit
Yeah.
Kat. Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just.
There'll probably be opportunities for us to work or do something
Yeah, I was gonna
at this
say
festival.
carrying
Oh.
water, washing dishes.
Yeah, I am willing to do such things if it gets us eating, because I'm pretty hungry.
Yeah, I'm pretty hungry too.
Bandy has explained that you have a veritable fortune in copper pieces.
I mean,
True.
at a tavern like this, copper pieces can go pretty far.
Did that bartender ask you if you were Volo?
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
Is that bad?
So does that answer our year?
No, not really. It depends.
Oh, I
Volo
forgot to
thank-
ask. Yeah, I tried to.
Well,
How do you
sounds
ask
weird.
someone
I
what the
apologize.
How do you ask someone what the year is without them looking at you like you're crazy?
Volothamp Gadarn is a traveler of the realms and kind of a scoundrel, but in some places he's loved and in some places he's hated. Did the halfling give you any sense of which this might be?
Seemed like he said it in a positive way.
Oh, that might be even worse. And you promised him a musical interlude?
I didn't promise him. I said we might be able to offer a performance in exchange for coin or other things, and he offered to give me a rumor in exchange. I mean, that's what you do when you go into these places, right? You get the rumor, and then the rumor leads to figuring out how we can get back home.
I
Isn't that like wasn't that what I mean? Seems like the thing to do in Forgotten Realms.
maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That could work.
So you're having this conversation amongst yourselves, and as you're
Rhiannon, are
wrapping
you
up this
okay?
Conversation.
Rhiannon is trying to herd us cats around.
Rhiannon is being the downer. I shouldn't be the downer, but I am. I do a lot in life.
I prefer to think of you, Rhiannon, as the voice of reason.
Yeah, you
Yes.
are the voice of reason.
Pragmatist.
There you go. You
What-
make
is there-
yourself the DM's favorite if you keep that up.
Rhiannon, can you tell anything about the place that we're in based on the observations of the tavern? Because you're an archaeologist, so
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, so I'd have to go around and like peer at things. I will say don't drink the water.
Probably a
That's
good idea.
Good recommendation. Yeah.
What you want is small beer, because that's a lot less alcoholic than we think of beer being.
Could maybe disinfect some water with this,
Yeah.
maybe.
But
But small beer is probably a better choice.
small beer. Well,
Is-
I mean, I hate the taste of beer, so I'm not looking forward to this. But
Yeah. Well, it probably tastes mostly like water, I would imagine. But we'll see.
You're about to find out because coming over in your general direction is a maid carrying 4 cups that look to be made of clay, which she basically has her fingers stuck into to be able to carry 4 of them at once, and looks like a mug or a pitcher, I should say, again, also made of clay that seems to be filled with some liquid or other. She will move over to the table, place them down gently in the center, both of them, and she will say, this is our finest stout.
Oh, excellent.
Okay.
And may I ask what you charge for your finest stout?
1 nib per cup.
Oh, okay.
All right.
This should fill 4.
Not so bad. Okay.
Not bad.
I'll be back with your bread and your stew in a moment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna look around. Is there anybody in the tavern that looks like they might even remotely be interested in, like, curiosities? Odd little.
Those
I
merchants
want to
look
see if
very drunk.
The richest
still looks
person,
very junk.
the richest
yeah.
person in this place is its owner, probably. Followed by that gentleman at the bar, followed by those merchants over there, although they are drunk. So I'm not sure how they're going to feel about buying things at this particular hour.
Yeah.
But we'll see. You will notice when you look around the room, however, that the woman who's been decorating, standing up on the chair, moving her way across the stage, has been keeping a careful eye on all of you whenever the barmaid comes over to serve your table, almost as if she's watching out for her.
Okay.
So, is anyone worried about the fingers in cups? Because I happen to have these disinfectant wipes that I
Yes! I meant to bring. Yeah, I meant to
I
bring.
mean-
I got a first aid kit, by the way, if we need it, but I did not.
I'm
bring-
not super worried about it, but if you want to go for it, go for it.
That definitely smells like beer. Whatever's going on there definitely smells like beer. It's
Okay.
got a sort of nutty aroma to it.
I will experimentally taste beer.
I mean, Rhiannon, that was the whole point of beer at the time, right? Was so that it would be safe to drink, or is it still a chance that it's gonna?
What you
should
mean?
be
You're
safe.
having her hand in the cups is what you're asking about?
I guess that kind of ruins the.
I mean, I was just talking about small beer.
Brewing it.
What's the differentiation you're making?
Oh, it's just
Are
that
you
that beer
concerned
is.
We're gonna get really drunk.
No, just that that it's not gonna make us sick or anything. Like that.
Oh.
I don't think it will.
I
Okay.
mean, it probably will. We're from another world.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah, if you want to go that.
Elminster's
Yeah.
revenge is gonna hit all of us. I'm just gonna let you know.
I'm just gonna watch what Rhiannon does and do whatever Rhiannon
All right,
does.
so Eric, of note is the fact that when you said the word Elminster, you'll
Uh-oh.
feel a sharp pain over your heart, almost like
Ow.
a burning sensation.
Ow.
Oh no.
And if anyone repeated the word Elminster shortly thereafter, they will also feel that very same sensation located over their heart. Ow, it's almost like it
What?
just flared. You look down. There's something lightly glowing from there. Fortunately, you're
Oh.
indoors. So, and you're like, yeah, it looks just like what Randy was sporting out in that field. And it just flared to life for the barest of instants with an angry red light when you said the word Elminster.
Great.
I don't think it liked that.
No.
Does
And
Do-
there it
do-
is again for you to look at.
Oh. Ugh.
Not a good
do,
sign.
do I have one?
You do. You all do.
Well, okay, I
Of course we
guess we don't feel left out now. That's good to know.
So as you're pondering that and trying to decide whether or not you're going to drink the beer, the front doors of this place come open. They stick on these warm, humid summer nights, and so you've really got to give them a nice shove to get them open. You didn't have that problem because someone pulled them open for you. But you'll discover this when this person pushes the doors open to get them open. They have to sort of bump into them in order to get them to come open, which brings everyone's general attention over in the direction of that individual. I assume you're also interested?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
It's a person, or at least you think it's a person because they're heavily cloaked, wearing a
Oh.
gray, mud-covered wool cloak with the hood way up.
Is he broody?
Um, not necessarily sure it's a he, because you could see some longish hair peeking out of the edge of the cloak.
I mean, that could be an elf. We don't know.
Little too shortish, so 5 feet to 5'4", but a little too robust to be an elf. Not overweight per se, but definitely stout. Not a dwarf, too tall to be a dwarf. Definitely a woman, booted, heavy gray cloak covering most everything that person is wearing, and tugs to get the door closed, and then gives a quick look, sweeping left to right across the room. If you could all roll a 20-sided die for me.
I wave.
You'll wave?
That would be a 5.
8.
Okay.
I got a 5.
Okay, and Randy.
I got a 19.
All right, probably why you waved. Okay. As that individual sweeps their gaze across the room, you'll notice that the person has darkish hair with hints of faded blonde to it. A certain roundness and lushness to their face. You can only sort of see their nose, slightly rounded, projecting out from underneath this heavy cloak, which is covering most of their face. But there is something distinctly familiar about this individual. It looks like someone you know, but you can't make them out from this range because they're across the room. But there is a pang, every one of you who rolled under a 10, of familiarity about this person. And Eric, you think you are the most familiar with who this could... That can't be Aaron. I mean, there's just no way that could be Aaron.
Yeah, that seems unlikely.
That person will ignore you completely, Randy, when you wave hello to them and make their way in the direction of the bar.
Well, I mean,
Was that somebody we know?
As you're thinking that thought, Gandios will launch into his standard greeting for deep night visitors, and this person will cut him off, waving a hand at him and say, in a slightly Slavic accent, tea if you have it, and pull up a seat at the bar.
This isn't good.
Already know.
What is this?
Why is it not good?
That person looked a lot like Erin.
Mm-hmm.
She sounds a lot like she's from Rashomon.
Oh.
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 Let's see. I mean, one of us has to go talk to her, obviously. Maybe it should be Allie. She
Obviously.
knows you the least, right?
I mean, I guess I could try. Realistically though, like if this is, I mean, she realistically wouldn't know any of us.
Look, I want to make one thing very clear, though. Cecilia would have every reason to hate me personally. Like me, Eric DeB, she would hate me so much.
I mean, I guess that does sort of answer the year question.
Maybe.
Kind of.
I don't know. That was just my... Fine, I'll go talk to her.
Oh,
Fine.
well, I mean, I'll go, or at least I'll go with you, just in case, okay?
See if you
All
can
right.
get some tea. Tea is better than
Yeah.
for
Okay.
me than beer.
I'm gonna leave.
I'll have what she's having.
All right.
All right. Randy, watch over the sword. I'm not gonna take the sword with me.
Okay.
Gotta get a sheath or a scabbard or something. Anyway, well, let's go.
Yeah, we'll worry about that.
Right. So if I have this right, Eric, Allie, you're getting up, laying your weapons aside, and
Mhm.
mustering your selves to go up to this stranger, this mysterious cloaked stranger at the bar, and engage them in pleasant conversation. Meanwhile, Rhiannon and Randy, you're guarding the weapons and staring quizzically at this Veer. beer. Have either of you drank any of it?
I mean, I'm gonna taste it to see how alcoholic it tastes and how sort of much like beer it tastes.
All right, so Rhiannon's bold. Randy?
I think if everyone else has tried it, I will not try it, just to be safe and be the designated person.
I did sip it before I
Yeah.
Oh, so then this will apply to you as well as to Rhiannon, Eric. It's weak, Rhiannon, and it's got stuff floating in it. It hasn't been, terribly well strained. It's got a head on it, so it's not flat, which is sort of nice. They probably sort of shook it around the inside of the container, which could explain some of the particulate matter. Tastes fairly earthy with an undertone of nuts. It's going to take a lot of this to make you drunk. It might not take a lot of you to make you throw up, though.
I mean, tea's probably still gonna have bits too, so I can start fishing out the stuff from the top.
And Rhiannon and I have an idea for how we can entertain these folks.
Are you like? I understand that this is part of how you're enjoying this place, but are you really set on that idea?
I'm not set on it, but if it comes up, I have an idea. Row your boat. We can get them doing a round. We're in a boat, and they've never heard the song before, and then we can get them doing rounds, and they'll be drinking and singing row row, and they'll love it.
And on that note, our intrepid adventurer is headed to the bar. So what's your plan, gentlemen and lady?
I'm going to ask. I'm going to go to the bartender and say, next to this woman who just came in. So I heard that you have tea. My companion would like tea.
So not
I do
attempt
like tea.
not like that. I do like tea. Not attempt to address her directly, but rather just make that statement.
Right.
Okay. You will move over to near where the two of them are engaged in conversation. You will see that she has acquired tea in a cup. You can tell this because the cup is steaming. And she's asking when you arrive for rock sugar for the tea. You'll roll up and make your statement. And as you do, she'll have occasion to turn her head to the left and catch a look at you. She has a shocked reaction when she sees your face.
Side eye. Okay.
You'll also be able to deduce something about her, but not before she mutters out a phrase. She'll say, "Knight's heart. How is this possible? But I watched you die."
Oh, good.
And you'll know that she looks like Aaron at a glance, but this isn't Aaron.
Okay,
If it were Aaron, it would be a much younger Aaron. Too young, too sort of stout to be her, and the irises on her eyes are colored, one gold, one silver. She has a ruddy tint to her skin, and the hood, it's up pretty high, but could it be concealing something? Maybe shapes going along the top of it? It's hard to tell. She certainly has a very wicked-looking dagger at her belt and another in her boot. And you can see at her wrists, as she's turned in your direction, the edges of marks or tattoos or something that wind their way up her wrists in purple and black ink. One of which over her left wrist looks almost like a trident.
Oh boy.
Do you have any immediate response to her remark?
I'm sorry. Have we met? I just have one of those faces.
She'll look at you more closely and she'll say, "Nath, you're not Stalavar. Never matter. Apologies." She has a slight Slavic accent.
Okay.
I mean, he gets that a lot, I think. Like
That
you said, one of those faces.
name mean anything to you, Eric?
I'm gonna have to head back over to the table, and I'm gonna have to consult my my
Okay.
sources.
So he just leaves. He just leaves. And you're waiting for tea.
No offense, of course. Have that tea over at our table over there.
I'll guess I'll just.
The tavern master, who's raptly watching your conversation at a polite distance, will nod aggressively and say, yes, I'll have a loo, bring it right over. So you're back at the table now, Eric.
Oh.
Do you need me to spell Thalavar for you?
No, I know what she said. Okay. Fuck. Okay.
Hey.
That's two.
True.
Yeah, all right. So, no. Okay. So, first of all, no, that does not answer when we are, because the Thalavar family has been around for a very long time. Second of all, why would she mistake me for one of those people? Unless we assume that all the characters I write about look like me, which I think is an unfair assumption that people make about writers all the time. But
I mean, there are certain ones that, like, no offense to you, I would certainly hope would look like you.
Your technical wizard has brought up an illustration. Since he's been kind enough to do that, could you all roll a 20-sided die for me? Actually, really just Allie and Eric, because you're the only two people saw it directly.
But maybe she said Thal-Ivar. That's a totally different person. I don't know.
So what'd you get on those 20-sided dice rolls?
I rolled a 19. I'm just thrown off here.
I got a 6.
All right, excellent. Remember when somebody said Ilminster a short while ago? There were two somebodies who said Ilminster a short while ago. Maybe three somebodies who said Ilminster. And they had that burning sensation over their heart, and there was a glowing thing going on in their chest, angry red light. Yeah, do you see in the foreground of that image that there's a similar trident-like shape sort of over the gauntlet shape in the back? It looks an awful lot like the tattoo she had on her wrist, now that you think about it.
Great.
Eric seems troubled. Is anyone concerned about that?
Kind of, a little bit.
More than a little.
Look.
So who was she? What's
going on here?
Okay, so good news is, not Aaron.
Okay, good.
Also not Cecilia.
No, I got that.
Which would be really
the body
strange.
shape was wrong.
Yeah, but the clothes were way on point. Okay, so she mistook me for somebody, and I think she said Thalavar, which is a family that I've written about. One of whom is a traveling paladin, the original Shadowbane. So, that's potentially upsetting. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's potentially upsetting. That doesn't really tell us about the time, because she said I was clearly dead. So,
He said she watched you die.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So then who's she?
I don't know.
Is it Farida?
See, I
think
thought
the
that, but I
timing's
didn't
right for that.
see her. You didn't see her either, Randy.
Oh,
You know what? Maybe you should go over there and see if she thinks you're somebody.
Oh, good thought.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and
Eric, roll
Have-
25 for me.
have a little existential dread. I rolled a 16, so do with that what you will, buddy.
All right, I would say that you probably know Farida and what Farida looks like well enough to know that while there were similarities between this person and Farida, that couldn't have been Farida.
Right.
Or Havilar?
Right.
Or Havilar.
Well, I mean,
Similarities, though, for sure.
So
You know what?
someone else getting up?
I'm just gonna get up and walk over there. 'Cause
yeah, I'm
just-
gonna go with
yeah.
Allie.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk back over.
I'm just gonna
be like,
drink some of this beer right here.
Yeah.
Take the bits out
Are you
first.
drinking it pretty? Yeah, I was just gonna say aggressively.
Oh, that is.
Aggressively?
Ooh, that is a taste
Ooh.
and a texture.
It's the
Yeah.
bit that really sells the beer.
Yeah.
That's-
I'm
it's
gonna
the
be
bit.
like,
Is that a clove?
uh, I am sorry about that. My
Actually,
friend
I hope it was a
think-
clove.
got a bit spooked. Bit of a
So
misunderstanding
you're
there.
now
I suppose.
back over to
Yes.
the bar. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's like, so I apologize for him just running off like that. I think he got a bit freaked out. I don't know. That whole misunderstanding.
She's
I'm
looking
not
at
really
you-
even sure what's up with that.
She's looking at you like she's equal parts confused and annoyed that you're over here talking to her. And in fact, that you've brought a friend. It's like some sort of an amusement for all of you.
So, we'll
Oh,
Oh.
Yes, who finally
Aw.
showed up. Go Randy, he said.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
we'll leave you alone just a second. But apparently, you mentioned a name that you mistook our friend for. Our friend's name is Eric, so not the same. But
Didn't even think of a fake name I should give people. God,
does it
you
matter?
don't tell people your real name.
Names have power.
it's
Fine.
not your full name, you see.
It's true.
So,
It
what's
troubles me not whether or not he's a Thalavar. He's not Beldrith.
who might you be?
She'll snicker at you when you ask her that question. Chard, roll a 20-sided die.
2.
She is lying.
I believe her.
She is selling this to me.
100% lying.
I understand that you don't want to go just telling your name to random strangers, but I think that perhaps we have acquaintances in common.
Roll a 20-sided die at that. This is
How
you
well that
two
works.
out
Ugh.
right over there.
Not as well. That's a 12.
All right, her eyes narrow dangerously when you say that the two of you have acquaintances in common. You may have stepped on something there. Keep talking.
Dagger.
It's a nice
Uh,
tattoo you've got there.
Are you gonna say that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right then.
Yeah.
I mean, these feel like the Azure Bonds kind of a situation. I'm not sure if these
She
tattoos
will
are good things.
turn on the two of you, like turn in your general direction. And you'll see as she does so, some things about her that you didn't pick up before. One of those things is that she's dirty and sweaty. She looks harried, like she came in out of the night under difficult circumstances. And she's obviously in some sort of general distress, right? She's not, she may be wounded and attempting to conceal it. It's hard to say, but she steadies herself on the bar. And as she does so, she sort of digs into the wood with her fingers for a minute when she turns herself somewhat awkwardly over in your general direction. Her eyes narrow quite dangerously when you say that and mention them.
Yeah.
And reflexively, she drops her sleeves down to cover the mark on her wrist. Rhiannon, when you see this and you witness that exchange, do you do or say anything?
I mean, so if I was to sort of like, could I get the top of the
Are you sure?
just the top of the mark that we have sort of on our chest?
So you wish to attempt to display it to her.
Just like a little bit, just the top in my neckline.
Now, be aware that lurking some 6 feet away is a
Mm.
very attentive and helpful bartender who may or not care about what you're up to, but just is there. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to see what you're doing, but
Well,
there's
so
possibility.
if I turn my back to the bartender, I'm
That's
sure there's
helpful.
no angle in the room where nobody will see. But if I am facing her, then hopefully her body should sort of block the sight of what I'm showing her from most people. Would that be correct?
Yes, that's a fair assumption.
Okay. So
All right,
that's what I'm going to do.
So you're going to do that. Allie, are you going to pause to let her pull off whatever stratagem she's working?
Somewhat. I think I will just when I see that kind of falter, digging the fingers into the bar top, be like, oh, whoa, slow down. Are you okay?
All right, so you'll change your tone from one of potentially confrontational or threatening to one of concern.
Yeah.
Okay. And gentlemen, you're across the room watching this go down. Could you each roll a 20-sided die for me?
Oh,
Sure. I'm over here consoling Eric. He's obviously in existential crisis over the fact that his characters have been given life in this world and have suffered, and he has killed them horribly.
right.
And...
When one of them finds me, that's when things are gonna get bad.
Oh,
You know it's gonna be Illira, right?
Yes, I do. I rolled an 11.
Okay,
I
an
rolled a
11
14.
and a 14.
The problem
So
with it
you're
being
kinda-
Ilra is that it could be any time, and she would want to kill me regardless of what time it was.
So you're sort of dimly aware that there's a conversation going on over there, and that it's gotten a little bit dramatic.
Yeah.
But you've lost in your own thoughts enough that you're not tracking exactly what's being said. So, all right, Rhiannon, you will make an effort to just sort of like subtly display. When you do that, is it your intention that the mark be visible?
So the top, so that to get part of the trident based on the picture, like if you just do the top, you can get the first. Yeah.
Now, here's the thing you'll notice about the mark when you do that. It isn't normally visible, but when you want it to be, it glows softly. So not only do you have a mark, you have a glowing red mark on your chest.
Wonderful.
Welcome to the mechanic for thiefy type stuff. That's percentile dice. If you could just throw some percentile dice for me.
Get him out of the bag here.
Yep.
Percentile dice, and we have like a 10% chance of success.
Hush.
It depends.
That is come in. 100.
00.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. One moment, please.
Oh wait, no, sorry. So that would be 1.
Oh, a 1. A 1 is the best success you can possibly achieve. So you do exactly what you'd intended. You show this thing in precisely the way that she and only she can see it. When she does, because it's really hard to miss that the way you pulled it off so eloquently, or deftly, I should say, she looks shocked and then wryly amused, and she says, "Sark," in a bitter way, with a barked laugh. "I should have known. She wouldn't let me do this alone. That slarning bitch. Is this what she bred me for? Is this why he laid with me? Well, you can tell them, all of them, that it's mine." And that is where we will end our adventure for the evening.
Wow, are we in trouble? Oh my god.
Oh no.
What, is it okay for Eric to give us the context, or are we keeping
Oh
it a
no,
mystery?
I'm just saying it could be. No, I'd rather it be a surprise.
Oh, you're welcome to talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I called it here because the next dramatic thing, just way too dramatic. So I figured one dramatic cliffhanger is good enough.
Is this what's her name? See, I've read the books, but I can't remember the names very well. Brecius?
I'm not sure who this. Okay. I'm not entirely sure who this is that we're dealing with and what exactly is going to go on, but we're going to see. So I'm pretending like I have a lot of knowledge, but I only know so much here. So yeah, let's chat about this later.
Yeah.
And come up with some strategies and thoughts and suggestions. Anyway, thank you all for watching our experiment of the Isekai realms, where we're all playing ourselves in the Forgotten Realms, and it's going sideways real fast. I have been Eric Scott DeVee, one of the players, usually the DM. Oh boy. Oh god. And thank you all for coming with us on this unconventional gaming journey. There will be a part 2, don't you worry. Chris probably has enough content for like 8 episodes, but we'll probably keep it to like just a couple. You can find me online at Twitter, and then tweet at me about your theories about what terrible hell is going to be unleashed on our players. And also just check out our Discord and stuff for more information about all of our games. We are about to finish up the drawing, the raffle. So if you're looking for the book, put in the code to get the book. And we're going to outro everybody, and then we're going to do the drawing. So take it away, Rhiannon.
Hey, I've been Rhiannon Held. You can find me on Twitter at Rhiannon Held, my website, rhiannonheld.com. Check out my story that I'm going to put the link. And if you enjoy the story, maybe check out some of my novellas in my space opera series, the Amsterdam Institute series, collected the first 4 in Idyllion. They're great. You'll love them. And tonight, thank you to our moderators, Seldarine, Mardug, I don't think is there tonight, but always thankful. Rumpus Imperator, and Allie's right here with us. So
hey, you're not doing your job, Allie. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Randy, thank you all for watching, and thank you all so much for giving to the Trevor Project. You blasted past our goal. You guys are awesome. They can use all the support they can get. You're helping save lives, literally. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, you can still donate too. We're still raising money.
Yeah.
We're like 30% over our goal, but we'd love to have more. So, if you want to kick in a few bucks to them, you could help people's lives a great deal. Allie.
All right. Hi, I am Alexander Pitchford. If you can find me on Twitter generally at Lexi Phoenix. And I also have a Patreon where I am releasing a serialized novella called The Phantom Year Job, which takes place in the Greymantle setting that Eric and I have been brainstorming for a bit now. And if you want to check out another short story that takes place in the Greymantle setting, I have a story called The Sun Spear coming out in an anthology called Never Too Old to Save the World, and I will probably announce that closer to when it actually has its release, but it is finally successfully kickstarted, so looking forward to seeing that out in the wild.
And Chris, thank you so much. Tell us where we can find you and interact with you. And
I am Chris. You can find me only here.
Excellent.
And interact with me through this place. That's really
one venue only.
I'm a lawyer, so there's really not a lot to be done with me.
So if you commit a crime in where Chris works, then you might interact with him, but maybe that's not what you should do.
Yes. I'll give you the one piece of advice I was given in law school on my first day. If you ever kill anyone, tell no one else. That's all you need to know.
That's a very good piece of advice. We appreciate that, Chris. All right, we're gonna do the giveaway.
Do you also want to preview what we're gonna be playing next week, Eric?
I think we haven't fully decided what we're gonna be playing.
I thought next week was Greymantle.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, in that case,
Allie mentioned it, so
Allie should be giving us a preview of what we're going to be playing next week.
Well, next week we will be playing a one-shot preview, kind of I would almost call it an episode 0, maybe, of our Greymantle campaign, featuring several of the characters that will be appearing in the campaign when it actually launches proper. So this should be a lot of fun. It'll be standalone, I think. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah, I knew that. I was just being cagey. Yeah, I am actually running this game, right? Isn't that what we decided? So that you can play in it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm planning on it being like a session 0, put the game together, get going with our little group. It's gonna be fun and interesting. All warlocks all the way down. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Not everybody is gonna be a warlock necessarily. Okay, yeah, somebody did bling bling for Rogar really late. So yeah, maybe the crowd's gonna shower you with coins, who knows. All right, so let's do the drawing. Who does the giveaway? Somebody does it in the chat. Is that Yang Yang? Yang Yang,
Yeah.
the powerful tech entity that's above us.
Yeah, since
Gonna
Steven
do
isn't
it.
here.
So drum roll. We want to do the Homefront giveaway. The book.
then There's also is there a
Yep.
dice?
There's also a dice giveaway. So. All right, he closed the raffle.
Well,
Hey,
Ah.
Adendure 2022. You have won a hard copy of James Scott Magnar's sci-fi adventure novel, Homefront. Woo!
Nice.
Nice.
So there will be a contact coming your way. I like your name too. That's kind of neat. Oh, also, Matthias Zero has won a second copy of Homefront. Yeah, awesome.
And
Right.
if you missed it and you want it, you can also come on and enter on the Discord.
Okay, and it looks like we did the dice giveaway. That's the dice giveaway for Scary Dan. Excellent.
Cool.
Congratulations, Scary Dan. I'm guessing that is a Halloween-themed Steely Dan cover band. But anyway, it's pretty great. So thanks, everybody. And there will be links for books and dice and stuff, and there will be more giveaways in future games. So that's it for us. We are out for tonight. Rhiannon has a thing.
Until next time, may your word counts and your dice rolls be equally high.